All right, let's bring in what I'll refer to as the badass. Let's bring her in. Let's bring in Katie Davis. Katie
Hi,
Davis,
guys.
how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, excellent. You ride the New York circuit. You come from a family involved with the sport, and how are you doing tonight? I mean, you got mounts tomorrow. You got work to do.
Yes.
Stuff on Saturday.
Yeah.
And we're also gonna bring in the NHC champ David Harrison. So I know he's very interested to talk to you about some of your mounts this weekend. So
awesome. Yeah, super excited.
Hello, gentlemen, hardcore degenerates. How are you gentlemen doing tonight? Not you, Katie. You're an actual professional who I have the utmost respect for because, geez, I would be scared shitless to be on a horse going that fast, with especially large fields. So kudos. Jockeys are you're fearless. And
Thank you. Thank you.
And you do a great job. And I have to tell you, and Dylan Davis was very sweet to me at the NHC last year. I had a few good winners on Silver Sunday Day, so thank you to Dylan, and welcome aboard.
Thank you.
David, though, so you're talking about Dylan. I just want to talk about Katie because Katie.
That's fine.
The amazing part about horses and all that, and then I will jump to another question, but I bet on Funny How as a single in the Broadway stakes to take down the Big Four for $35,000. So yes. But
yes, that's amazing.
Now you owe a percentage. Now you should get a percentage.
Where's my 5%?
Yeah.
I pay my taxes on that win percentage. No,
right. But we've talked a little bit, Katie, and I respect you a lot. I was raised by a single mom. You are a jockey, a mom, Trevor, a jockey. You are, I'm sure, around the track all the time. So I would be curious, family is significantly important to you. I know it is. And how do you balance that as an athlete, as a jockey like that in the day-to-day with the family and then going to do, business on the track? I'd be curious to hear.
So when I first got into the business, I had one female jockey that I look up to, Carol Cedeno, and besides my sister Jackie, but she's a mom of two. And I always picked her brain and I was like, how do you do it? How do you do it? Because I know down the line, I'm going to want kids or a kid. And I just want to learn that balance that you do. And she goes, Katie, if I didn't have my parents, it would be way too hard because you would absolutely need a nanny, literally. And to that conclusion, I have my parents. I have my mom and dad. They are great. And on top of that, we actually have a daycare on the backside in New York. Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah. And so they open at 5 o'clock. You drop your kids off. As long as you have a badge, you're a groom or a hot walker or even an owner. And you got kids and you want to go to the races in Saratoga, they're open till 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night. It's a really special thing. And that's what made it easier for me too, as well, because it's my first child and my mom and dad, they work in the morning as well. My dad trains and my mom works with him. So in the beginning, I was a little no way. I'm not bringing Riley to daycare. It's not happening. And so I would bring her. They were in the same barn as Ray Handel. So Ray was looking for a rider and I had a C-section. So I came back a month after that, which was really way too fast, and I kept falling off left and right, but we made it work where my dad only had a couple horses and I'd go in 5:30, get on maybe 5 or 6. And then by the time they came in, I could help them and they'd bring Riley or I'd go home with Riley. So it's really one big family. You have to have the support or, if you have a really good, babysitter, you really make it work. And the racetrack has done amazing job helping me as well. If I ride one race, I bring her with me. If Trevor doesn't ride the race, she watches her and I go ride and then Dylan will watch her or vice versa. So you know, you don't get that at many racetracks either, though. So, but you get Javier Castellano brings his kids. Everybody brings their kids. The wives come, you know. So New York is very tight like that when it comes to family. They want the love for the game, and they want people to succeed too, as well as a family. So they kind of look, you know, they're happy to see me to bring Riley. Everybody loves her. She brings her little bike and she strolls through with her moose and they, hey, Riley, and up and down the hallways between races and like, because you get bored in the room, you know, at times. So I brought her today too, which was a lot of fun. She took a nap during my race, so yeah, she was out. I made it easy for Trevor today.
So, you know, we will, you know, we'll spend a few minutes. You have quite a few mounts on Sunday. And so I saw in one of those races, and David had some thoughts. But before we do that, you know, I would be curious, you know, for you rode in the Saudi Jockey Challenge, right?
Yeah, that was amazing.
And I would be curious, as a jockey, what's been your most memorable experience so far?
That's a good question, because I really, it all like soaks in for me. And like at some points people are like, dude, you won 7 races in Saratoga. It's like, I did? Like, okay. Like, that's amazing. Like they're like, you don't understand. I'm like, I had fun doing it. And I brought the people. I think that was my most memorable time, was riding Saratoga for the first time, because it's my hometown and, you know, I see my friends here and there, but like it's family orientated. And I've been out in California and they compared Del Mar to Saratoga and it's nothing. You can't really compare it. And it's
two different things.
Two different things. They're two different levels. I mean, their level is there, but like the atmosphere is two different things.
Yes.
Yeah. And so Saratoga, and I'm all about family. Like my dad raised us, family. He has 6 kids. I'm number 5, you know, and not all of us are in the racing, but you know, we'll get mad at each other one day and we kind of just, you know, the next day we're best friends again. So like family's very important to me. So Saratoga was a really big highlight, and finishing 2nd or 3rd in a grade 1 for Belmont as well. And you know, having people saying, oh, why are you going in that barn? You're just wasting your time. And, you know, I always just stay quiet and like, hey, if he throws me a horse, nobody wants to ride, I'll do the best I can. Like, it doesn't bother me. But the Saudi was a great, like, it's like, they're both very, because, you know, when do you ever get an opportunity to go overseas? And I got to take my dad, and he's ridden over there too as well a couple of times in the 2000s. And it was really ironic because I rode for the same prince that he rode for. It was really cool. Yeah. And I met the prince too, and I'm standing next to him and I'm like joking around, and they didn't know what to do with me. And I was just like, I'm like, how do you say smile in Arabic? Because we're all taking a picture. And actually, I know I'm getting off topic, but like kind of, but a local boy was in the race with us doing the challenge, and the prince was like, oh, local boys, glad to see you come make the picture. And I'm like, yeah, I started clapping for him. So embarrassing, but I had a blast there. It's very different for sure how they do things, but you know, it was really unique. And my dad talked to the vet out there and he was like, yeah, we don't, you know, we take everything, you know, step by step, and you know, they're trying to be up to date with everything, and that's perfect. You know, we can always learn from other tracks.
Yes. So, do you remember the 2023 Broadway Stakes?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah,
that's funny how.
Yeah, it's funny how. My husband got hurt, and I was galloping for Ray, and I would gallop that filly for him. And we just, we hit it off, like me and Funny How. I was like, this is my filly. Do not take me off. And if my husband's going to ride, I'm going to do what's right, and we're going to win money. And then I got to the summer, I galloped, because I would have started riding earlier, but it was Saratoga meet, and it was like, it's tough. You don't just go into a Saratoga meet and have no business. Yeah. And so I waited, but I got to meet a lot of owners, and, you know, I hate saying like being a woman, but that's half the battle, is like getting the owners on your side, you know, and
what about the trainers? What about the trainers? What trainers support you the best?
I have a couple trainers that really support me right now. Ray Handel, when Dylan doesn't ride him, freaking he rides them all. And I'm like, give me one of them. Like, Dylan, go ride a Clement horse. Get out of here. I have Barkley Tag. They've been a huge support for me today. And this summer, I got a good compliment from Saratoga Stables. And Jack was like, I'm really impressed. And like, you know, they want to move forward and give me a little more opportunity, which is really incredible. You know, you have to have opportunity, and you just make the best of it, and you kind of run with it. If you mess up, it's on you a little bit, you know. So them, and then Danny Gargan. I rode Ringy Dingy and the Black Eyed Susan, and they're looking for another spot for her. I'll go ride her again.
Yeah, we got a question for you in the chat here real quick, Justin, and I'll get over to you. Give us some insight. Give us some insight into, you know, what happens when Jockey's on a closer and the gates open, you go to the lead, you go behind. How do you prepare for races like that? What's your go-to kind of thought process and data collecting for all that?
So like the horses that I ride that close, or
yeah, so you're riding a horse, it's a closer, it's a front runner, you know, you're going to get some instruction. How do you prepare before you get into, you know, the walking ring there, and the trainer's going to give you something? And
yeah, okay. So I'm a really good listener, you know, and I try to do my best, but when those gates open, and anything can happen, a horse stumble out of the gate, and you know, the worst thing you could do is if they want you on the lead and the horse just completely falls on their face, send them after that. It's like, that's pointless. Like, you might as well get them up, let them settle, and then get into rhythm and wait and just make one run. Things change all the time, you know. And somebody asked me, oh, what's your favorite position? Like, where do you like to be in a race and stuff? And I'm like, I like it all. Like, you put me on the lead, I'll look back between my legs, and I just slow it down, turn their head in, and on the grass. And then you look back and I got these guys. I went 49. I know it, you know. Or you sit the pocket. That's a lot of fun too, because you're just sitting there and you're like waiting. That's like more of a thrill, because you're waiting for a spot, and it's like, oh, this bug boy in front of me is gonna move off the rail. I'm licking my chops. I can't wait. and a closer. I love a closer. You know, you sit back there, don't send them out of the gate, let them get under their feet. You got to listen to your horse. Your horse tells you. And being a female rider and coming back after being a mom, like, I had to understand, like, you would know, Justin, or whoever has kids too, is like, when they can't speak and they're crying, you have to figure it out. Because they're going to keep crying and crying. Like, my little girl, she was so constipated, and like the milk wasn't working, and like I wasn't doing well with milk, and like it was like, whew, I had to buy formula overseas. It was during COVID too. It was like, you got to figure it out. Like, it's not all about what you think is the best, or you want to manhandle them, or you want to macho man them. Like, you need to make it their idea too. Like, they love what they do. If they don't want to run, they're not going to run. So it's it's fun. That's what I enjoy, is difficult horses too, but won't hurt me as well. You know, I'm not afraid to say no on a horse, but me and Daddy Knows are like two peas in a pie. Like, if anybody claims him, I'm going with him. You know, like my dad goes, but at the same time, it gives me opportunities to get into other barns.
Yes.
So that's the best part about it.
I think, you know, I appreciate you coming on, Katie. This is awesome. And so I know David was like, hey, we got to talk about a race with Katie. And I'm like, I got this. And David might have another race, but I have 2 races on Sunday. And I don't know if you've ever seen EquinEdge, but, you know, so
I haven't. I'm sorry. But I
no,
will now.
this is perfectly fine because I think there's race 9 right on Sunday. You are on Union Trail.
Yes, Union.
Dylan is also in that race on the number 7, which I think will go off as the potential favorite. I'm gonna share my screen rate.
Okay, you got it. I was about to pull it up myself.
No, I got you. So
okay, good.
Dylan is riding over here for better lucky than good. That is the top EquinEdge pick. That's one algorithm we have, and Dylan, and then you are riding Union Trail as it's actually our long shot, and that's the Barclay tag horse for Saratoga Stable. So I was going to show you, it goes back to a little bit of the question. We have this race simulator that we have, which is pretty accurate, Katie. So, at the first call, it has, let me make the screen a little.
What number am I? 12? Okay. Yeah, that's right.
You're on the 12.
You got me to win? No way.
Well, so
first call.
So on the first call, you have the, our system says you're on the horse with the pace with maybe the 6 relate. And at the second call, you're still on the lead. And at the third call, you're up there and they're coming. And at the top of the stretch, you're still on the lead. And at the finish, you end up running second to Dylan. Dylan on the 7 horse, better lucky than good. So I will say this is going to be absolutely incredible to watch. But I have a question on this.
Sure.
You get to race with Dylan. You get to race with Trevor in race 11, which we should talk about before we let you go.
Girl. Yeah.
You're on Sunday Girl, which is, I good luck. And I think I wish you a lot of luck there and here, 2 horses. But my question is, you get to race against Trevor. You get to race against Dylan. And you also get to race against your sister, Jockey, right? So in a race like this, and you see this, it goes back a little bit to the prepare question, but what is it like to get to race against your husband and then also your brother and maybe sister in these races?
It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. Growing up, we were very competitive because that was my dad's nature. So we were always competing against each other, like in sports. And then we would have cat and dog fights on inner tubes, one girls and then boys, and you'd have to jump on the tube and kick them off and stuff. So with the racing, we kind of dragged that competition with us. And let me tell you, we are very competitive. Like if I see Trevor in a pocket, I'm stuffing him. Like you're staying there. You're not coming out. And Dylan the same way. But it always comes down to like, if they have control, like, and any rider, like because we were talking about it the other day, how Dylan rode one of my horses and because that horse is tough. The horse is tough, Kate. And we were going 2 turns on the grass and I break and my hands are up and I'm just, and I'm breathing into the first turn. Now I'm behind heels and he looks over and he chuckles. He goes, "You okay?" And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. I think so. And he goes, "You want out?" I go, "No, don't let me out. Don't let me out. Because if I see daylight, I'm gone." And, but we're there to help each other because if I had no control, I was running on heels and I was going down and there's like 6 horses behind me, and, it's kind of, I compare it to like you driving a car with no brakes, like good luck, And that's any rider. We don't want to see anybody get hurt. We protect each other out there. But let me tell you, it's fun coming down the stretch with them too, because Trevor grunts, so you hear him coming. Dylan, he kind of like, you don't really hear him, but it's funny because last summer I beat all 3 of them in a race.
Yeah.
They've all finished second. And the one race for Danny Gargan, I look over, here comes Dylan. And I'm like, I look over, I go, "Oh, hell no." I switch my stick, boom, and he's staying out because he knows if his horse comes with me, that he wasn't gonna engage my horse. That's why sometimes I don't like engaging horses. Like if you're gonna run by, just go. Like don't go to another. You're gonna encourage him to come by and go with, horses like to fight. And Dylan was like, that's why I stayed out there, because I know your horse likes to dig in. And I was like, he was like 5. But yeah, it's really cool. It's really, I never thought, I knew I wanted to be in the New York circuit eventually. And when Jackie came to ride with us, and then I came to ride, and then Trevor came to ride, I had so much fun during the summer because Jackie would chip in, and I'm like looking around and just at awe, like I never thought this would be a thing, like us all together. Like you just don't, it's like everybody has their style. Not everybody can make it in New York. You're talking about Yankee Stadium. Like it's hard. It's hard,
Well,
So
Katie,
our perspective is you should send Union Trail, and we think you're going to win on the lead and you're going to beat your brother. That's our perspective. But I also want to talk race 11 because that's Sunday Girl, right? And we have as our second.
What you think?
Yeah, and we have as our second pick, and you can see in a similar situation up on the lead at the first call, the second call as well, at the top of the stretch as well. And at the end, ends up, right there, first and second, Johnny V riding Landed, the 7-horse. But here you're also facing Dylan and Trevor. Dylan on the 8-horse, the Shoe Lady, and then Trevor, Bernie Takes Charge. So
I broke Bernie Takes Charge.
Oh, you did?
I broke her maiden. Yeah, in Saratoga, I broke her maiden. And then Trevor stole her from me. I was like,
you might be on the better horse here, though, in Sunday Girl.
I am.
Yes.
You know what? This is really going to test Sunday Girl. It really will, because I'm a little not upset. I mean, it's horse racing. But Javier is outside of me. I wish he was inside of me, the other speed, So this is really going to test her. And she's kind of a fidgety filly. Like you take a good hold of her, she's kind of sensitive. And when I rode her last time, I took full advantage to just stay away from my brother's horse. And I knew his horse was fast as well. So I took advantage of staying 4 wide. And then when we hit the turn, tuck in a little bit to make sure the guys kind of get the dirt in their face. And then I tipped out again because I didn't want to go 44. Like she would have done it easy for me. And then I came back down, and then I set her down. But one thing I did learn about her is she runs, but she doesn't like that manly aggressive hit. Because when I hit her
that's why you're
and I was like, yikes, she was like, left lead, no, don't do that. So that's why it's nice to get on horses again, and you learn their style, you learn what they like. And my dad kind of reminded me, Kate, she's a little filly. She's running her heart out. Be nice to her. Like, yeah, you're right. Well,
Katie, we got to get you introduced to EquinEdge and see if that could be a good tool in your toolbox in terms of
I would love this.
So
give me a discount. I'll come on your show whenever.
We'll work something out for you.
Okay.
For sure. You're the first.
We got you. We got you. So.
Oh, I love it. This is cool. I love this.
You're the first jockey we've had on the show. So.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, we're super excited to get more of the human athletes on these things, trainers as well. So. We're going to move along. We got to get to the handicapping portion of the show. We will be watching you. Okay. We'll be covering you. We'll be looking for you for a good, clean break on the 12, and then just go and do whatever you got to do. You got to throw the whip at the guy or distract him and go, hey, be like Joe Montana on the Super Bowl. Is that John Candy in the stands? Freak him out.
You know what's funny is I was trying to beat one guy in Delaware, and there was a stake race, and I whacked him so hard on the toe with my left. I was like, say right on his toe. He goes, damn, you hit hard. And I'm like, I'm trying to beat you. Get him like out of focus for a second. But that was before the counts. So
okay.
Yeah.
Super.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you.
Thank you. And Katie, please ride the hell off the 11 in the 4th race tomorrow. Left Me Behind, Barkley Tag's horse. The horse looks like this horse has gotten faster in the last 5 or 6 races. Am I on the right track? This horse has improved a lot.
Yes. And the best thing about him is he likes the Saratoga track. I breezed him his last 3 times. And like the way he's been moving and like his ears are like, when do you want me? When do you want me? And he's like asking me. And then Robin and Barkley were like, Katie, we want you to go 49. I go, you got a radio? Because he can trick me a little bit. So my hands were burning, but he's doing really good. So I'm really excited about tomorrow. So
yeah, New York State bred, facing open company, starter allowance, and second race of a layoff, turf to dirt, 7 furlongs, and the horse is the only horse in the field who's won on the Saratoga track. And seems enough speed to set you up to stalk and make one run. So good luck tomorrow. I think this horse is live.
Thank you. Thank you. Me too. I'm excited. I'm ready for it.
Good luck, Katie. Good luck. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Anytime.
Joy, thanks. You're great.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right.